Welcome to the first official podcast by Rob and Kelvin. Uh,
Okay.
hey, we're doing this podcast because we really want to talk about games. We play enough games that we think it'd be a good idea to just talk about current events, what's happening in the industry, and just general game talk. Even bring up some tech stuff. Um, Gelf, why did you want to start this podcast? What was the main focus for it or inspiration?
It was just very like it needed to happen, right? Because we hang out a lot as far like now more so online, but we just we love to talk about games and we play games all the time. So it's just like at some point we needed to kind of come together and just talk about what we like to do. It's just as easy as that. And I think it'd be better to just kind of have it in a podcast form because it's easier to just kind of bring everything together, and it's a nice way to just talk about things that we enjoy to do.
Yeah, the thing is for me is I feel like as we've gotten older, with playing games, I feel like we definitely play less games than we did when we were younger, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I feel like we even talk about games more than we actually play them. Do you feel the same way?
100%. Especially now, but since I have a 8 month old, it's harder for me to play games. So I'm constantly thinking about it, talking about it, looking at it like online, and just kind of like seeing what's on the news and all that stuff, and not really playing them. So yeah, this is perfect for what we need to do.
Yeah. On the subject of the 8-month-old, how do you balance that? With gaming, like how do you? I know it's tough. I don't have an 8-month-old, so I don't know. So
So it's funny because I follow this podcast. I don't remember the name, but I'll get that information later. So they're all a bunch of dads, right? And they play games, and I think it's I forget the name of it. I want to look at it up, but I can't right now. Um, they they play games, and they're dads, so I think I watched one of their podcasts, and they were saying how most of them play at night, which is what I want to do, which is what I usually do actually.
yeah, it's the only time
So
you can really do it.
and I think the best thing to do if you're a father out there and you want like some type of advice, try to get your kids to bed at an early time. So that way you have obviously more time for yourself at night, but also because you have a routine going and they kind of follow that routine. So like for me, I have Mav, my son's name's Mavris. He gets actually a bath at 7:30, give him a bath. We take him upstairs, give him some milk, and he starts falling asleep like right there. So by like 8:30, he's like knocked the fuck out. So then that gives me time to like shower, hang out with Fleurs a little bit, and then by like 9, I'm like all in at trying to do something. I'm like, all right, what am I gonna play right now?
Exactly.
Um,
And
and it gives me like 2 or 3 hours to just kind of like to myself. So
so last question about that is when he's older, and obviously he's gonna probably be into games because you're super
mm,
into games, right?
yeah.
Are you gonna yell at him if he's staying up at like 1 in the morning playing his games?
Yeah, because it's just one of those things because he's all right. So I don't know. He's gonna obviously have a bedtime. I feel like he's gonna have a bedtime. I never had a bedtime,
Yeah, but if you
but
catch him like once or twice staying
I
up,
mean,
like
I'm
super
not
late,
gonna.
what I mean? Be like a little
I'll be
part of he's
like,
gonna
all
be
right,
like like I see you,
I,
you know?
I didn't see anything. I ain't gonna tell you about. But yes, I don't know. I'd say a reasonable time, like 10 o'clock. He has plenty of time to play games at that time, so he'll be
Okay.
good.
Um,
So
yeah,
let's take it a step back first. So let's um let's introduce each other first, right? Because
yeah.
I think that everybody wants to kind of like know who the fuck are these dweebs talking? Like, why are they talking? Like, why, right?
What are these
So I don't
characters?
know if you want to start it off and kind of let us know like who you are, like why you wanted to start this podcast, and just a little background about yourself.
Sure. I mean, like I said, I work in as a digital marketer right now for a floral company. Um, but I've always been interested in technology. It's always
Hmm.
been a fascination for me, and video
That's
games. So
another
I
reason why we wanted to start this as well. Yeah.
yeah. So like honestly, it coming together, they kind of go in hand in hand with the technology and the video gaming stuff.
Yep.
I just have an affinity for it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like why I kind of want to start this, and it's just like a place, like a platform to just talk about that kind of stuff. You know, like I'll look see like new tech, even in cars and stuff like that. That I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Wish I had someone to talk
Right,
about
right.
this stuff with. You know what I mean? I just
Yep, yep.
because it's just evolving so fast. You
Right.
know, so that's kind of how I got into it. What about you? Like, what do you do, and you know, why'd
So,
you start this podcast?
well, all right. So I'm a CAT scan tech. So I work at a hospital. Um, and so it's hard for me to like come home and like sit down and play on top of, having a
Yeah,
child. So that's why at night it's like the best time for me to play games. But yeah, I full time work at a hospital. Live in Connecticut. So it's just I didn't know how we were gonna do this, which is something that we've been talking about for a while, actually, right? Like we've been talking about doing a podcast for over over a few months. We just didn't know how. And I think you kind of hit the nail where you were saying how we like talking about just electronics and gadgets and things like that in general. So I think that kind of blended in with gaming as well. And that's what we want to talk about in this podcast where um, we're not just going to talk about games, we're going to talk about things like headphones or the newest headphones or the newest monitors, PC gaming, things like that that kind of like pique our interest. Um, and I don't know. I think it's going to evolve from there. Who knows? I don't know. But as of right now, that's what we're sticking with. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
yeah, I absolutely do think it'll be just like a cool spot to just like every I don't know what the how many times a week we're going to be doing this. It'll probably be like maybe once every 2 weeks. It
Yeah.
really depends on our schedules, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
would like to do it at least
At
every
least
two
once a
weeks.
week.
You want to do
At
once
least
a week?
I like once a week. At
All
least
right.
like we can dedicate it to like a day and a time because obviously a better schedule is better for us, but also for followers. If whatever,
Yeah. And
they
this
like
is
to have that schedule. They
exactly.
like to see that. All right, I know that Wednesdays at 8. Well, I'm listening to these dweebs talk or some shit like that.
These
So
dweebs. I like how you
yeah,
keep referencing to us as dweebs, right?
right, yeah.
Um,
But
so
yeah, so I think that would be cool.
Um, so I guess a good question to start with is what is the first game you remember playing?
Ooh, caught me off guard there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
You
what
legit just like remember like you're in it, you're sitting down, you have the controller,
my
and your
first game that I played?
your first memory of the game you've ever played. Think, dig deep. Don't say some
Mm,
bullshit like Tetris or something like that. I hate it.
no,
Tetris.
no, 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 no. What
Paul,
the fuck did I play?
killing me, man.
I don't know. I can't think that far back. I do remember playing the Super Nintendo and playing what's that game called that we were just talking about that they just remade the remaster for Dungeon no Ghouls and Goblins.
Uh, I think it's Ghouls and Goblins. I think you hit it. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
Ghouls
I
and
got it
Goblins.
right. Ghouls and Goblins. I think that was like the furthest back I can think of right now. And that was a fun game. That was hard as fuck, but it was fun. And now they're remaking it, so I'm buying that shit.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna beat it though.
No, 100%.
I don't think I'd
I
beat it.
can't I can't beat Demon Souls, bro. Like I really can't. That game pisses me off
You're just
because
soft. You're just soft.
I platinum Bloodborne. You
Just
can't
saying.
beat that,
Just
dude.
saying. I don't
So,
know. I can't
but
tell because I was literally like screaming for help.
yeah,
Please
you
help me
needed
beat
help with
Bloodborne.
every boss battle, and I had to help you out in every single boss battle there.
I beat it though. I don't care. I beat it.
Sure.
Whatever.
All right, all right. But yeah, I'm having a hard time with that game, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So, what about you? What's the furthest memory you have of a video game?
So as far as like first memory ever with a game, um, I could say like Super Nintendo, but I don't really remember playing it. Like I don't remember actually what was happening. I just remember I picked up a controller. I think it
Hmm.
was like what's it called? Baby Mario, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island. That's what it was. I
Wow.
think
Okay.
that was the first game I actually remember
That was on.
playing. I
What
mean,
console was that?
Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but vividly is probably Banjo Kazooie on N64.
Yeah. I
That
remember playing. I remember you playing that game.
yeah, that is the first game I remember vividly
Yeah.
actually playing myself and getting caught on levels and stuff like that. So
That was remind me. That was a hard game, right? That was kind of like puzzly, very puzzly, right?
I mean, you had to collect literal puzzle pieces.
Puzzles.
Well,
Yeah,
they call them jiggies.
yeah. I
Um,
never got into like I love Banjo Kazooie mostly because of you because you played it and I watched you play it as a kid back in the Bronx. But you you kind of got me into like Final Fantasy VII. You kind of got me into Banjo Kazooie. Like those are like some of the games that I remember. What was that game? Shadow Hearts, I think. No, what was that heart game that you were fucking all into?
Hearts
It
game? I don't
was a
remember.
PS2 game. Yeah, you do. We talked
Shadow
about it like
Hearts? It was Shadow Hearts. It was
Shadow
an
Hearts. Yeah,
RPG. Yeah.
yeah. You got like those games vividly. For some reason, I think of you when I think of those games because I remember sitting down in your bunk bed and just watching you play that shit, geeking out and shit.
Yeah, man. Like we had like some of those like Legaia 2 was one of those games too. Like
The
you
guy too,
it's
like
like
that was
no
me
one
where
knows
I
that
played
game.
it.
No one
Yeah,
knows
and
that
no
game.
one knows what the fuck that is. But I remember that shit vividly. And as a kid, you remember that shit being like fucking amazing, right? Like Legaia 2 was dope. Like right now, I think Legaia 2 is dope as hell. If I played it right now, it probably aged poorly, like super poor.
I actually watched videos on like just to catch up on some old games of like to see how they aged and stuff like that. I watched videos of Legaia 2. You should look it up when you
Did
get the
you? Oh
chance.
shit. Yeah.
Yo, it
It probably looked
actually
like trash.
it looks like shit, but like the character models when they're like doing their moves, the combat's really weird. Like it
Yeah.
was so I don't even remember. You had to like put
I,
directional
I
inputs to
I
do
don't
attacks.
remember how to. I don't. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, it
remember
was
any of it.
weird. It was definitely a weird game. You had like summons, but they were very low quality. Like they look like
Yeah.
crap. But
I remember fighting the boss battle, and that was a bitch. I remember that it took me like what? It was like 2 hours, and we were going back and forth trying to beat this guy.
I you know what the thing is too. When I was watching it, we're so spoiled when it comes to RPGs now because everything is kind of like you can see an enemy encounter, right? Like everything's open world, and you can see like I'm gonna hit this encounter if I want to because it's they're all you can see them walking around.
Right.
But back in the day, it was just random. Like
And
you just
ran,
it just happened. So it would take you forever to
yeah,
traverse through like a cave and stuff like that. And
well, that was my issue with Pokemon back in the day, where I was like, I wanted to get out of
oh,
this cave.
Zubats, man,
That was the
Zubats.
worst. And I'm like, I can't. If I'm like in low health, and if I move right now and I get caught, I'm dead.
Oh yeah, because it poison you. Like, you get poison
Yeah.
random potions and you just die, and you gotta do the whole thing over again.
Yep.
OG
Yep.
Pokemon games, like
You love them, you hate them. I don't know.
I
You're
mean,
more into Pokemon. We'll talk about that a little bit later, right? Like you're definitely
my
a
newfound love
huge.
for
You
Pokemon, right?
just started this found love of Pokemon, so I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and just
Yeah, been definitely getting more into Pokemon lately. I my buddy gifted me. That's actually the Charizard that's behind me. It's a Charizard from a new Champion Paths Elite Trainer set, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I started looking at like values and stuff like that of the stuff, and I'm like, wow, like there's actually some pretty valuable cards to be had here. So then I went down the rabbit hole and started looking at values, and then I'm like,
now you're
oh,
just way in too deep now.
and now I'm starting to collect again,
Mhm.
and now my wallet's gonna suffer, and it's gonna be awesome. But it's awesome because I'm recapturing that like that feeling of like opening its pack
Yeah.
and hoping you're getting that
Opening
card,
it, the smell of a
the
pack, like
smell of the
that
pack,
was my
yeah.
that was my thing. Like I love just like not to sound weird, but like you open the pack, you just have that like scent, you know, like everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah, for
that scent that you feel that you smell when you open a pack. It
It's
just
probably anthrax they put in there or something, and
oh,
then
I'm sure,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. But
It's probably not great, but it's like it's a
yeah,
good smell for whatever you're opening, you know.
yeah. I
But
mean, when
that's
I'm opening the packs now, it's gonna sting a little more because like my parents were paying for those packs,
yeah, but like they
and
were
now,
they're like $10. They're not bad. I mean,
they're
we're
like
adults now,
they're
you know
like
what I mean?
$5, but then if you're just like trying to get one card, you're gonna
Yeah, you pay like $30 for like, a few
yeah,
of them.
but you still might just not get that card that you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a gamble. Yeah,
It's literally it's like gambling. That's what it
yeah,
is.
you're addicted. Yeah, you're pretty much addicted at this point.
I'm not. I could stop anytime I want. Let's just say.
Okay.
Just.
All right. We'll see.
um. So yeah, as far as let's move on to more current things as far as PS5.
So we're getting straight into the topics, like we're
Let's do
going
it.
in.
Let's
All
go
right.
into the topics that we got set
All right.
up here. State of PS5. Uh, Obviously, you have one. I don't have one
Yes.
because of reasons. Because you can't get one. I've tried so hard to get one. I can't get one. I refuse to pay scalper prices for it.
Don't do it. No.
No, I
As
won't.
of right now, peasants don't have a PS5. So
Thank you. Thank you for
yes.
calling me a peasant. I appreciate that. I no, I am. I'm a peasant.
I mean, come on, you don't have a PS5. You have a dope ass headset, by the way, but
Yeah, but
it makes me it reminds me of the PS5. That's why I say it.
yeah. So PS5 saw it in person. Obviously, you had it.
Yep.
It is gargantuan. I did not realize it was
It's
going to be
huge.
that. It was literally like a baby PC. It's like a
Yeah.
baby PC
It's
that's shaped like a
actually
router.
if I put it next to my PC, it's probably half the size. Like height wise. Maybe even a little bit more than half. It's big. It's big.
So, all right, here's a question real quick right off the jump about PS5 here is what do you need to have a PS5 right now? Like is there a game there that you're like, yeah, you need to get a PS5 for this like 100%. Like this is worth you like trying to go crazy online, trying to find one, refreshing
Yeah.
that button. Do you think it's worth that right now, or you think it's fine? You could just wait until they restock everything.
That's a loaded question, only because it honestly depends on where you're at with next gen. So if you're someone that doesn't really care about next gen right now or doesn't have a 4K TV, for example, um, PS5 probably won't do much for you right now because there's not that many games, one, that will really take advantage of it. I think for the most part, Miles Morales, like Spider-Man game, is
Mm-hmm.
probably the best game. And Demon Souls is pretty good too, but Miles Morales is probably like one of the best games to like really show PS5's like graphics and
But you get it for
fidelity and all
PS4.
that stuff. But you can get it for that's the only problem. You can get it for PS4. Now, if you're into
Why is it a problem?
because you're
Why?
already getting the game. You don't need not, again if you're that type of person that really is all about like 4K and all about frames per second. Like yeah, a PS5 right now you'll love it and you won't regret it for sure. But you can buy Miles Morales on PS4 and still be okay. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna be an issue. Okay, so you're just gonna swap. That's cool. All right. All right. Cool. All right. But yeah, that's my take on that. I think as of right now, it's not necessary. I think maybe come February, March, I think it'd be a good time because I know Ratchet and Clank is coming out soon.
So that's what I heard is like worth like this is the must play is Ratchet and Clank,
Well, I
for
think
PS5.
that's gonna be the one that takes the most advantage of the PS5, mostly because of the rifting um gimmick that the game has with kind of swapping into different worlds like instantaneously. I think that's going to really show what the PS5 is capable of, and the SSD drive is going to really like shine there. Right now, though, Miles Morales is great. I loved it when I played it; it was fantastic. But could I have played it on PS4 and still have the same enjoyment? Probably. You know what I mean? I just think that again, if you're a geek, like into like if you're not even a geek, if you're like really into like tech, like us, right? And you want to have the best things, you want to have the most like graphical fidelity, like enhanced games, then yeah, PS5 is you want to get a PS5 as soon as possible. But if you're not, if you're just playing games just to play games, you don't need a PS5 right now.
So here's a take on this too. If we never got into PC gaming because I didn't play PC probably 3 4 years ago. I was strictly a console gamer,
Same, yeah,
right? And that was like the next step up. And I still had a PS4. I'd be like, and that was my only means of playing games.
yep,
Then I'd be like, oh my god, I need a PS5
yeah. That's a very good point.
because you want that performance upgrade. You're
It's
tired. It's already
exactly.
you know.
It's
Um,
literally a mini upgraded PC. So you're not getting like a full fledged PC per se, but you're still getting qualities of a PC on the PS5. And that's the most cost effective thing right now, right? Like that's the
exactly.
most
It's super cost effective,
yeah,
right?
it's
Like
the most
for
inexpensive
400
PC right now.
bucks, you're in the
Yeah,
door, and you can play
exactly.
at 4K You
Right.
know, depending on some games, 60 frames per second
60
is
frames. Even some
yeah.
games are hitting 120 120 frames. Like
Depends on the game
depends on the
too. It's
game,
not
but
you're
it's
not getting
still like this is now though. Think about it. Like we're what 2 months into to next gen. This is now. Like that's gonna change a year from now, 2 years from now. Like games will definitely be hitting like standard 60 frames, or if not 120 frames per second at some point.
we'll just have to see. Um, Speaking of that, let's look at the other side of that. Xbox Series X. What's the state of that? How you feel about that?
Xbox, I don't know. They've definitely done a lot of amazing things. Mostly with Game
Game
Pass.
Pass. I was gonna say Game Pass
Game
is
Pass
all
is
time.
like the shit right now, and from us, like for me at least, coming more so on the Sony side of things, like Game Pass is you can't beat Game Pass right now. Like it's
It
dope as
is a
hell.
little pricey though. It's I started to realize because
They
now the
bumped my
trials are
shit
all
up.
over.
Yeah, they bumped my shit up.
It's like
Like
$15,
yeah, yep.
$15 a month. So
And let's be honest though, like us personally, you and me, do we really use Game Pass? Do we really take full advantage of it? I don't.
it
I really
depends.
don't.
It really depends on like I they had
I don't even
Doom
know
on
the
there.
last time I opened Game Pass. I just know that I'm playing Gears 5 for free. Like, well, not for free, but I'm paying. I'm downloading Gears 5. I'm gonna play the next Halo in it, right? Like those major like AAA games that Microsoft doesn't really have a lot of, but the few that they do, I know I'm gonna just be able to download it when they come out. That's my main like reason to play Game Pass.
Actually, you say that like when's the last time we opened Game Pass and stuff like that? Don't when we play Gears of War 5, that's on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, when's the last time you open Game Pass to scroll through the games and download
Probably
the
the other
game?
day. Like honestly,
Ye-
pretty
Really?
recently. Yeah, they have Doom Eternal on there now. There's a bunch of there
Oh, I
that
know.
$15 a month. That's an insane deal for what you're
You're
getting.
getting an amazing
You're
deal.
get
My
it,
thing is, I'm not like this goes back to the whole fatherhood thing. Like, I don't have the time to like just bored. I'm not bored out of my mind to the point where like let's just pick a game and play and download it. You know what I mean? Typically, when I'm playing downstairs, it's I know
it's
what
like
I'm
a
doing.
game you want to play. Yeah, it's a game that you're like
All right.
researching. Like this
I
is what I'm gonna
text
do.
you and I'm like, or I text Caleb and I'm like, all right, you want to play Gears? You want to play like, whatever, fucking COD? Then I go on, play COD. Like, I don't even look at fucking Game Pass like that. But I know the value that it holds, which is important. Like, that is a huge value, like a huge bang for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it beats like paying $60 a month for one game. That
Yeah.
what if you don't like the game? Not that it's rare now, but a lot of games don't come complete now. You
Right.
know,
And back in the day when we played, we were screwed. Like we really didn't use the PC to kind of like review, like to see reviews. We just bought it and hoped that it was good. Like Gaia is a perfect example. We bought that game thinking this looks cool. Like the front cover looks dope, and it turned out to be cool. But it could have been a shit show. It could have been terrible.
that's the thing now about games is like every game is expected to be a masterpiece because of the amount of eyes that's on it and just like the information with the internet. You know, you
Right.
weren't able to develop your own opinion of it. Actually, Kyle, one of my good buddies, he he didn't read anything about Cyberpunk. He was like, I don't want to know anything about it. I'm gonna go in there blind. I want my and he did right. And he said he thoroughly enjoyed the game. As for me, I read stuff about it and I was very biased about it. I was like, this kind of sucks and like it wasn't what I expected and stuff like that. But he probably had a freaking blast playing that game because he had no idea what was going on as far as like going into it. So I think
So
more people need to jump into games without reading up on those reviews and stuff like that. Like if a game's a 3, you're gonna know it's a 3. Like if you're
yeah.
playing, you know what I mean. But like someone who rates something a 6 could
Right.
be an 8 or a 9 to someone else.
Right. Right. So I think that's a good segue to um I guess topic number one in a sense. What are you playing right now? Are you playing Cyberpunk right now, or are you like not playing it at all? Like what are
Cyberpunk,
you doing?
I'm playing here and there. I definitely lost a little interest just because like the hype has kind of died down for it. But I pop it up here and there. You know, may play like twice or three times a week. Um, I've been playing a lot of League of Legends. I've been getting into that, trying to learn. And just like it's such a freaking steep learning curve, man. It's people are brutal in that game.
It's too steep for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a
I'm off
tough
that.
entry point for sure.
I
There
did
are
like the League of Legends, whatever we were playing last time. Not the original League of Legends, but the
the team fight tactics.
Team Fight.
I've been
Yeah,
playing that too.
that was cool, but I'm not
You're
like
not
again.
into it's
I'm
just not your thing. Yeah, I
just not
totally
my
get it.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so obviously playing Gears 5, COD sprinkled in there.
yeah.
Actually, the main thing I actually been playing quite a bit is Devil May Cry 5. Um,
Oh, okay. So
because
did you buy the expansion pack or
it's not
whatever
really an
the DLC?
expansion pack. It's a Virgil DLC. So I've been just beating the game again, but playing as Virgil.
Okay.
And that man has so much freaking sauce. That dude is so cool. Like I beat this game like probably 2 times already.
So
And
okay? So question: you play the game as Virgil. Are the cutscenes any different? Like, is there anything different besides just playing as a new character?
so the only thing that's different is the beginning cutscene. Like you just see like a different cutscene that involves him, and then you just play the whole game as normal. He's not. You don't even see the cutscenes. He's not even in the cutscenes. It just you just go through level, and I'm assuming you see an extra cutscene
At
at
the
the
end?
end. That's
Yeah.
usually how they do it with Virgil. They always just
Right.
stick on one in the front, one at the end. But his playstyle is just so cool.
Okay.
Just yeah.
So
But yeah,
you're having a blast with that then,
yeah.
because
What
you're a huge Devil May Cry fan. Like, let everyone
absolutely.
know that you're a huge fucking Devil May Cry fan
My gamer tag, my gamer name or wherever I put is Yamato Blade, and that's after
for a
Virgil
reason.
because his
Yeah.
sword is named Yamato, his samurai sword. So
Yep.
there we go.
All right. Well, at least you have one thriving like favorite video game right now because mine are like in the shitter. So Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear Solid is not any like it's done. So I'm shit out of
I
luck.
have faith. I have faith that they'll bring that brand back and it's
Metal
gonna
Gear
be awesome
Solid.
again. Yeah, I have faith.
What about Kingdom Hearts?
It depends how they go.
It's so weird because they made Final Fantasy. Like who's the guy? I forget his name. I don't know.
Nomura.
Nomura. He made Final Fantasy 7, but this is also the man that made Kingdom Hearts 3, which isn't a bad game per se,
But Final Fantasy
but
VII had so
but the
much more
quality
production
is
value to it.
yeah, the production value in both of those games are completely different.
So one thing to keep in mind with Kingdom Hearts is they are limited what they can do with Kingdom Hearts because of Disney.
Disney. But that doesn't change. That doesn't mean the quality in the game should like be hindered. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but
it
I feel
shouldn't
like there's
be.
more obstacles to hit. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
can't incorporate this level because we can't use like for example the Frozen level.
that
The
was pretty
Frozen
ass.
level
Yeah,
felt kind of almost a little empty because they couldn't or Elsa like you couldn't use her as a partner as a
yeah. That was bad. That
which
was
is
bad.
like
Yeah.
why wouldn't you use her? She could freaking shoot
And
ice
also
beams and
just
stuff.
the layout, the map, the world
It
itself
was just
felt
empty. It was just like another
not just
snow level.
empty, but it just felt like unnecessarily long. Like there were just
Yeah.
places that were like, why is like this should have ended like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, you know?
Yeah, I would say the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 felt more uninspired compared to the other worlds in previous past Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 1, and that kind of stuff. Still enjoyed it, but
Yep.
again, I just think they were focusing more on Final Fantasy 7 remake than
For
they were
sure.
on Kingdom Hearts 3. I think
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Yeah, so that's yeah. But I'm playing PS5 mostly. I do have my PC build that we actually we both kind of made our new PC builds, but um I'm not playing Cyberpunk. Like I have it and I haven't really
you have
messed
it for
around with it too
PC,
much.
right? Not console.
Right, PC, yeah.
Okay.
But I probably put in what, 4 hours, maybe five
Oh, so
tops.
long.
Like I did not touch it. And so I can't really judge the game yet. Um,
I'm putting
I'm
money
not
down you
gonna.
don't beat it. I'm putting money down you don't beat that game.
I don't know if I
You're
will. Yeah,
awful with open world games.
RPGs are just like yeah, open world games. Let's change that. Open world games is it's not my like it's my cup of tea, but it's not my cup of tea.
You have to just focus on the main story. That's the
That's what
only
I'm
way you beat
doing.
them.
At least for
Yeah,
Cyberpunk,
just
I'm
do the
just
main
going
story,
straight to the
or else
missions.
if you get stuck in side missions, it's gonna take you. But that's the fun of like open world games. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Like, if that's
Yeah,
not your
but
thing, then
when you're on a time restraint, it's hard for me. I don't know. I gotta work on that. But I think I'll get back into Cyberpunk at some point. Right now, actually, I told you I beat Horizon Zero Dawn, which I've been putting that in the back burner for the longest because I had the game when it came out. I think I just never beat it. Right? I finally beat it. Right? I told you it was great. I loved it, and actually the world, like I keep playing. I'm still playing the game. Like I'm trying to get all the trophies right now.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm like really invested in the world. It's dope. I love it.
I
I'm
have to
getting
try.
like
I haven't had a chance to play.
it's so good because like it just the world itself really makes you want to be in there, and then the movement in the game, like you just feel so in control. I don't know. It just feels it feels really good, and the graphics obviously on my TV looks great. So everything, and then with the headphones, like it really makes a good like environment. And then the story was actually pretty good too. Like for an open world game, it was pretty dope.
If you had to compare it to a game or two games, what would you compare it? I haven't played it. I don't know anything about it really, but is it
Hearing it,
is it like if it's is its own thing that it's not like anything else, or there's you can get something and
I
mush it
mean,
in?
there's definitely a lot of
If you say Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna fucking
no, no,
I was
no,
like I'm
no,
down. I'm playing right now. Like
no. Oh my God, what's that game called? Um,
describe it to me.
Bethesda game that you
Far Cry.
Fallout. There's no Fallout. There's definitely a lot of
No,
Fallout
Far Cry
because
is EA, right?
yeah, that's
Or you know
that's Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Yeah, yeah.
Ubisoft.
There you go.
So there's definitely a lot of Fallout into this, mainly because the writers of this game, they made Fallout games. I'm not sure which one per se, but I think they the last one they worked on was like Fallout 3 or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Really? It's a lot like
Yeah.
Fallout?
Yeah, so like even the cutscenes, like when you're talking to people, it does that Fallout thing where like you
You have to
have
pick
them
your
like
like your dialogue and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and they're like the characters are zoomed into the screen and they're just like monotone talking and they don't really have a lot of facial expression, kind of like a Fallout game. You know what
Yeah,
I
but
mean?
are
Like, you
there
know what
like
I'm talking about?
cutscenes? Are there like
Oh, just like character interactions, like when you talk to people.
so it's not like there's like set pieces.
No, there's no real set pieces in that game. No, but again, the set pieces that you make are when you're playing the game. Like you're fighting a T Rex, a robot T Rex, and it's pretty dope. Like you're fucking shooting him with arrows, and he's trying to like kick you or like swing his tail, and you dodge it, and then you like slow motion like fucking like spear him down, and then there's like a weapon where you essentially like bring down dinosaurs. So you like bring them down and then you attach them to the floor so that they're like trapped. And like the animations in this game, they're just like on point too.
All
It's an
right.
old game. It's a couple years old.
They released it for PC, so I might
Try it on PC. Try it on
might try
PC.
PC. Um, but can't you ride the T
Yes.
Rexes?
No, not a T Rex. You can't ride a T Rex.
Ah, no,
You can
garbage,
ride like
trash,
a
trash.
bull
I don't
like
care anymore. I'm done. I'm not playing
dinosaur.
that. I'm not playing
It's
that.
dope, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'm getting all the trophies right now to like just be in that world and just kind of have things to do. And plus, I want to try some of the side quests because I did kind of blow through the game with this just a story. It's not that long of a game, probably like 40 hours
Hmm.
for an RPG. It's like not that crazy, right? But yeah, I'm
Um,
having a blast.
yeah. So I think one last thing that we'll talk about before we end this is uh, this thing came up about Microsoft still using AA batteries for their controllers. How do you feel about it? Um, one
Well,
and two. Do you think it's necessary?
um, well, it's strange, right? Because we're what in the year 2021 and we're still using AAA batteries or AA batteries for especially for you know controllers. Like I feel like that should have been obsolete like a long time ago. But just to kind of give you a little bit more insight, this page here. So we found this. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but this was from
Duracell, right?
Stealth. Huh?
Something with Duracell, right? It's a partnership with Duracell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is from stealthoptional.com and they wrote that essentially let's see where it is. So there's always been a partnership with Duracell and Xbox. It's a constant agreement that Duracell and Microsoft have in place. And this was revealed by Duracell's UK marketing manager, Luke Anderson. So they actually have a deal, which is kind of weird. Like I would have never thought Duracell and Microsoft would have some type of deal so that they would constantly use like AA batteries. Like I think that's kind of weird, but I mean, I think it's smart for Microsoft because they're constantly making money out of it, right? Because they have like the rechargeable battery packs.
Hmm.
Right? That's something that
I
they
I think it's not a bad thing just because it gives you flexibility, which is nice. Like if you want to buy the rechargeable battery pack, you're more than welcome to buy it. But again, you have to think about costs, right? Like
right.
how much money are you spending on the Xbox? Plus you got to add the 20, $30 battery pack on there, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like a cost thing. But I like that. Like if you just feel like your controller's dying and you need to like swap something out real quick, you could just pop in batteries and you're good. You don't have to wait to charge with the charging cable. So you're basically always wireless all at the same time. And you do have the option of always putting it through a cable. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing is that it gives you flexibility,
Yeah.
which is nice. So it'd be nice if they put like a charger in the bot, like they give you the. I'm actually not 100% positive, but do they give you any type of cable, USB cable, to connect to the Xbox directly to your controller? No, right?
Out of the box?
Yeah, like I know PS5 does. PS5 gives you a USB cable.
That's a good question. I don't
I don't
know.
think
I have
Xbox
no idea.
does that. So that's the thing. Like it's like it'd be nice if they did give you that USB option
Right.
in case your controller dies, you can just play wired. So that'd
Yeah.
be one thing for them to think about. I think a lot of people would appreciate that.
Yeah. But wouldn't that if like let's say would it be weird if they actually included a like do they include batteries?
Yeah,
Like do
yeah,
they
they
start
include
off with
batteries.
batteries?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They when you open the box, it comes with a.
Would it be weird if they included rechargeable batteries, like just right off the bat?
I don't know. I don't know if that'd be. I don't think that'd be weird. Um,
It's weird is not the right word, but like would it be I don't know, cost effective
but
for
again,
them
like it's
or
that Duracell thing, right? So
yeah,
maybe
well because of
once their
that.
partnership ends with Duracell, maybe they'll start doing that. Or they start.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee as soon as their partnership is done with Duracell, they'll probably just do chargeable controllers.
Yeah.
You know,
And so the other question, how long is their
I have
agreement?
no. You got the article up. Does
I
it
don't
say?
know. It doesn't say. No.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't
I
say.
mean, that's up to them. I mean, they might do it again. I don't know.
Mm. It was just an interesting read. I thought it was pretty cool that they like little things that you don't really recognize or think about, you know.
Yeah.
Like you just assume like why is Microsoft like why am I still in 2021 still charging my or like switching out batteries on my fucking Xbox Series X, you know?
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
um, I think that's all we have for today. Again,
Yeah.
this was the first episode. Like I said, we don't have a name for the podcast yet, but we'll come up with one. We'll probably be doing a little more structure next time. We were just trying to get this out of the gate and have fun with it.
Yeah, I think I foresee it being a little bit more structured, just as far as like what we're talking about. I like that we kind of just talk about whatever we want. Um, and I don't know, we'll see what comes in the future about this. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think from there we could end it there, and it was awesome doing this.
All right, man.
All right.
That's
Peace out.
cool. See
Bye.
you guys.